Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey Daniel, Jennifer,
Hello.
Trinity, how was the workout tonight? Did you go?
Yeah, I went. It was interesting.
How so?
The it was a like the AMRAP was a lot harder than I thought it would be because of the deadlifts. My legs were tired,
Yeah,
so it was like rough.
I remember the exact same feeling. Right about halfway through, the med ball cleans got really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys, Jennifer and Daniel, did you feel the same thing this morning?
Wasn't the legs, but Mike, you and I talked about, for me, it was, and Dan, the DOMs on our abs from the Tuesday,
Oh yeah.
mega sit-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were terrible.
Yeah, it's so funny. There's things that we do to ourselves that we don't really have to. And doing 150 sit-ups as fast as you can is not really mandatory, but we get caught up in it and we do it. And now hopefully by tomorrow we will not feel ab soreness anymore. So that if we do, that means we overdid it. But I'm hoping and guessing that we'll be fine tomorrow. So guys, rate your week. You can do it verbally if you want.
Probably 9 again.
So you said 9?
Yeah.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Well, because you won't let me say 7, I'm going to say a 6. It's been kind of a stressful week. Just
Yeah.
a lot going on. I feel just constantly behind and discombobulated.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Sometimes that happens. In fact, one of the lessons for this week is to not get discouraged if you have an oops. I don't know if you saw that or not. Are you able to keep up with your lessons and your reading and
Oh,
all the
yeah.
content? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I generally do that at breakfast. So I'm sitting
Okay.
at breakfast instead of, doom scrolling. I read those and watch the videos when there's videos.
Okay, good. Good. Daniel, how about you?
8.
8. Okay. I consider 8 and 9 to be quite satisfactory. Like you guys had a pretty good week. You made some progress. You stayed on top of your lessons and you're feeling good about going into next week. So that's cool. And actually, um, what about the mini challenge this week? Have you guys started anything on that yet?
I was confused on like what you mean by
Okay.
like of
We're,
something new.
we're gonna eliminate your confusion here and now by giving examples of what you could do. Have you ever done scissor kicks in the gym?
Like in the CrossFit gym or like ever.
Well, let's say it has to be something you've never done in the CrossFit gym. It can be something that you've done as a kid or whatever. But I just picked that as an example. The idea is to do something that you have never like you could swing. I'm just making this up. You could take a slam ball and do slam ball sit-ups, or hold it at your chest level and do sit-ups, or you could do GHD. You've never done 100 GHD hip extensions in one sitting. That would be something new. The best idea would be to do something that you've never done before. But Jennifer, Daniel, have y'all done anything or had any ideas on that?
Well, my idea had been to go do something that we haven't done in a long time, and that was hit the driving range and hit golf balls. But it doesn't sound like that really is what you meant.
Well, no, actually, that qualifies perfectly well. It's a physical act. I would say, you know, thumbing your nose at traffic 100 times would not be a good example. But anything that's fun or physical and fun, and brings you pleasure, do it. So it doesn't have to be something that's grueling. It can be something that's entertaining, like hitting golf balls. I think hitting a bucket of balls is a great idea.
See, Dan, I told you.
So, Dan, when's the last time you hit a bucket of golf balls?
2 Thanksgivings ago.
Okay, so it's been a while. All right. So anyway, that'd be a great example. Or maybe you could trick it out by doing it with a club that you hardly ever use. Like you never pull out your 8-iron. So pull out your 8-iron, hit a whole bucket of balls with your 8-iron. That would be something new. Trinity, you have a basketball goal set up at home?
Mhm.
Okay, shoot 100 free throws in a row.
I've done that before though.
You've done 100 free throws in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many
I
did
didn't
you make?
The most I've made in a row is probably like 30.
Okay, then here's your challenge. This is just an example, but here's a challenge. Make 100 free throws in one outing.
I think I could do that.
Yeah. And when you're done and let's say you only make 67 and you say that's it, I've had enough, I don't want to do anymore, then the remaining number of reps have to be burpees.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, the sky's the limit on the creativity. Just come up with something and go out and do it and tell us about it. You know, put it on community what you did. You guys all put your meal preps on last week. Thank you for that. This week you got to put on whatever it is you do. And if you're hitting golf balls, you might as well video it to prove it. A couple shots, not all of them, and put that on. Put that on community. That'd be fun. Any other examples y'all can think of? I always think of stuff in the gym, but it does not have to be stuff in the gym. Like I've never done, just an example, I've never done 100 one-legged jump ropes before. I've done one-legged jump ropes before, but I've never done 100 in one outing. So that would be something I could do. You know, left, right, or left, right, right, that kind of thing. So anyway, did I give you some ideas, Trinity?
I don't know. I thought of scissor kicks like earlier, but I didn't know if like you meant like just solely in the CrossFit gym or like everything. So,
Yeah, it I think Jennifer has the right idea. If it's something you haven't done, you didn't do last week or the week before or this year, then you know it's something you haven't done in a long time, then that's fine. If it's something you do regularly, don't just sub that in. I mean, come up with something creative. Something
Could
that
we
you
do 100?
What's
Could
that?
we do 100 sit-ups?
You could do if you've never done have you ever done 100 sit-ups before in a row?
Not before Tuesday.
Oh yeah. So you didn't do those in a row though. You did them interspersed with other stuff.
Thank God.
How about GHD sit-ups?
Mm-mm.
And it doesn't have to be in a row, but let's say over the course of the next 2 days you do 100 GHD sit-ups. Maybe now's not a good time.
Jan and I could not do that right now.
Yeah, I was about to say it may not be a great time for it. But yeah, 100 reps of something. When's the last time you did 100 jumping jacks? Probably never.
my mom actually suggested that because I was talking about it and I didn't know what to do, and she was like, "You should do 100 jumping jacks."
Yeah, when's the last time you did 10 jumping jacks?
Basketball season, probably.
Really? You guys do you guys do jumping jacks to get warmed up or what?
Well, some people do them like when they're just sitting on the bench, like waiting to get in to like stay warm. And we
Okay.
do them in between sprints and like burpees and stuff.
Okay. About 100 layups, made
I've,
layups. Yeah.
I've
Or
done those in a
100,
row before.
100 made shots. How about that? So not just free throws, but 100 made shots all in one setting.
Have I done that before?
Have you
Yeah.
done? Yeah, 100 made shots. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably that doesn't count then. So I like the golf idea. So come up with something else.
Um,
You know what y'all could do? Come out tomorrow and play pickleball and hit the ball 100 times. Like, see how many times you can just pop it up in the air and try to get to
when
100.
is that?
What, pickleball? I get out
No,
there.
when?
Do what? Oh, what
What
is
time?
pickleball?
Yeah.
What time is it? What is it or what time is it?
What time is it at?
4 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah, I usually come out at 4 and I start doing the programming for Saturday. And if anybody's there, I set up the pickleball net. And
Okay.
the weather's supposed to be great tomorrow. And guess what? I'm going to give you all a little clue that next week's challenge has something to do with pickleball. So if you do anything tomorrow, you can do a double book accounting. You can book it for this week's challenge and next week's challenge. Because the next week's challenge, I'm not saying what it is, but it may be something like play 1 hour of pickleball. So 30 minutes tomorrow, 30 minutes next Friday or something like that. That would qualify. And you know what I do when I'm there by myself and I'm finished doing the programming, I have some time to kill before the 5 o'clock class. I'll grab the pickleball paddle and the ball and I'll hit volleys up against the wall inside the gym. And it's really good exercise. You could do that. You could come in and hit balls up against the wall if you want to. Hit 100 balls up against the wall. You've never done that before. Or you could just try to hit 100 balls straight up in the air and keep the ball up in the air the whole time. So anyway, it can be something goofy, it can be something fun. It's got to be something physical and something you haven't done recently. So there. And I'll be there tomorrow at 4. And I will video you and put the video online for you. And you basically have to do nothing else. So there's your incentive. Okay. So what is the what's the outlook, Jennifer, for next week? You think it's going to clear up a bit in terms of what's going on?
No, not next week, but after that, next weekend, I have an annual meeting for my my women's group,
Yeah.
and I'm the treasurer.
Uh-huh.
And
Are the books okay?
they are, but there's all kinds of things that have to happen, and it just some of it's you has to wait until now. Like we have a meeting on Sunday, not entirely ready for, mostly ready for. The president of our organization, our state organization, is terrible.
Hmm.
So she's not doing her job, and she's
Okay.
impeding people doing their jobs. So that's adding a lot of extra stress.
Would it be helpful if I post this online and let everybody chime in?
No,
Okay, I
no,
won't.
I will get it. No, I mean, there's a lot of backstory that I don't want to go into.
Okay.
Why we're at where we're at, but once I get through the meeting, not this weekend, but the following weekend,
Yeah.
things will be a lot better.
Okay. So one thing I do want to talk about today is something that's coming up next week that is absolutely going to be worth your time. And it's a video. I think it's about 17 minutes long, something like that. It's by a guy named James Clear, and it's titled All or Nothing, and it's basically it's like a TED Talk kind of setting. So he's up on stage and he's talking to an audience, and he's giving some thoughts on making commitments and forming habits to help you reach those commitments. And he does it's one of the 2 or 3 best videos in this entire series, in this whole nutrition program that we've put together. It's one of the ones that is absolutely a fantastic game changer for a lot of people. And I know some people that had a lot of success in the past nutrition groups last year, in the past Bod Squads, who can still recite some of the lessons learned from this one guy's 17-minute long video. And I'll throw a couple at you just to give you a feel for what to expect. It's real simple stuff, and he does a really nice job of just laying it out in simple, understandable terms and resonating terms. The first thing that comes to mind is that he talks about the notion of wanting to be somewhere by some date, but not being able to do it all at once. That's how most of our goals in life are. You can't just do it all at once, or it wouldn't be a real goal. And his point is that if you just work towards that objective just a little bit every day, he calls it the 1% rule. If you become 1% better at something every single day, then you will definitely reach where you're trying to go. So trying to get incrementally where you need to be 1% at a time is a lot easier to stomach than trying to do it all at once. So that's one. I think that's a really, really good lesson. And another one that resonated a lot for me personally was the notion that to try to form a lasting habit, or to try to be the person that you want to be, that you talk about, your future self, you have to get repetitions of whatever the behaviors are and the actions are that person would take to be that person. In other words, you can create your own a new, better you, a new personality trait or something like that, a real fundamental thing, if you just keep getting repetitions and repetitions, building you towards that goal. And that's because the more you do something, the more you start believing that something is really you. And an example of that would be if Daniel decides he wants to be a top level CrossFitter, let's say a regionally competitive CrossFitter, then he's going to be putting together a whole lot of workouts and really giving some maximum effort in those workouts. And the more he does those things over time, the more he's going to be convinced that he is that person that does those things. And so another example is if you have a desire to be an avid reader, you don't say that you're going to read a book. You're going to read this book by this date. What you do is you read something every day, and you get enough reps in as a reader of books that you truly believe that you are that person. Anyway, he gives a lot of examples, and the idea again is to just get reps of whatever it is you're trying to do. In our case with this group, we're trying to become more healthy and more mindful in the area of nutrition, and the more you do what you're doing right now, the more meals you prepare, the more new recipes you try, the more successes you have in the kitchen, and the more you execute a weekly plan, the easier it is for you to see yourself as the person that does that naturally, not just somebody that does that for the next 6 weeks. So get the reps in for whatever it is you want to do, or whoever it is you want to be, and you will definitely be that person. Does that make sense? So anyway, it sounds I'm not articulating it as well as this guy on TV is, but the general sense of it is it's very profound for me. And it's something I've thought about, over the last 10 years being a CrossFit coach. The more reps I get in helping people, cueing their movements, or communicating what I see and helping them to get better at what they do. The more I do that, the more I believe I can do it, that I'm good at it. So it's like kind of the 10,000 hour rule too. So anyway, you guys are going to see that video. I think it comes on, what day is Valentine's Day? Is that Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, so that video pops in on Monday, I believe. And when you see it, all or nothing, make sure you spend the time to watch it, because your time will be well spent for sure. That's mainly what I have to talk about. Oh, another thing he said that I think is maybe interesting is that one of the principles of forming a habit is enjoying the process of forming the habit, and you have a much better chance of forming it if you enjoy it. And the thing about habits is usually they involve some sort of short-term sacrifice for a long-term result, and the short-term sacrifice, unmatched by any kind of pleasant reward, is harder to enjoy. So the idea is that if you can bring forward some sort of reward for the action that you're doing for the future, for the future benefit, then you can actually, you can balance the effort with some sort of benefit, or some sort of, immediate gratification, if that makes sense. So think about, how, not just reaping the rewards of the effort, in the future, but reaping it immediately. I guess an example, I'm picking an example right out off the top of my head, but right now we're all suffering from abdominal distress, and we're putting in the work to be stronger, have a stronger core in the future. But let's think about how the deadlifts went today. I thought my deadlifts went really well today. And it's not because my abs were sore, but it's kind of a little reward for having done the work on Tuesday to, definitely a focus on strengthening abs. And maybe that's my reward, just a few days later, having a really good deadlift day. So that's just an example. It just popped into my head. But anyway, you'll see that with James Clear, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So what else y'all want to talk about? We've got a few more minutes. Brenda, you got something on your mind? No? Is the family doing a pretty good job of supporting your efforts here?
They're not as much as they were in the beginning. Just because my siblings are all like athletes too, so they eat a lot of carbs and like pasta and stuff like that. I love but I can't eat it, so it's like frustrating sometimes. But it's okay. I make food for me and my dad, and I've been trying to like get him to eat slower, because he just inhales it in like 3 minutes, and it takes me like 20 minutes to eat a meal. So I've been trying to help him with that, since that's like the lesson that was this week.
Yeah, that's been a huge focus this week. So the timing is good for that conversation.
Yeah.
I know exactly what his mindset on that, because I do the same thing, and I have to try all the time to slow down when I'm eating. And it's like, it's so funny if I'm at a table full of people and we're having hamburgers, my son Jake and I will be finished in half the time of anybody else at the table. And we can't help ourselves when we're into something like that. So, what you could do is maybe share with James your one of the lessons that talks about the the biological benefits of slowing down when you're eating. You know, you're allowing the enzymes in your saliva, for example, to break down the food in a more meaningful way. You're allowing the stomach acids to do their job in a more thorough way, and just staying calm and processing things slowly. You get less spiking of blood sugar, as an example. So I mean that's a pretty good. That's like that's a one-page thing. You could print it out or make it available to him in some way, and maybe he could see that, or you could just tell it to him. You know, read it.
I have told him about it. Like I told him about how like it helps your digestive system and all that stuff, but he's very stubborn. He's a very stubborn man. So
I've known him. I've known not as long as you have, but I've known him for quite a few years, and yeah, he's pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get him to do it, but eventually he'll get there.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are eating together, then having good conversation and not watching TV, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, guys? Daniel, you're making me a little dizzy. Okay. All right, guys, I'm ready to sign off, and I know y'all are too. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and maybe I'll see all of you on the pickleball court tomorrow.
Not pickleball, but we'll see you in the morning.
Okay, we'll see you in the morning. That's good enough for me. Okay, see you then.
All right. Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.